Okay, so I think we will make a start. So if everyone has I will try to keep to time, but I always say, just in case if you need to go at 10 o'clock, that's fine, but I will try and keep to time. But we shall see. I'm never particularly good at that. I might run over by a few minutes. So you'll just need a mat. Feel free to bring a cushion if you wish, just to help prop the sit bones up to find a nice comfortable seat. And we'll get started. Okay, so feel free to bring a cushion, any props that you might use, just to find a nice comfy seat. And that might be with the legs crossed or with the legs out long, however feels right for you this morning, just to arrive in the space, adjusting clothing or hair, anything that you need to do to help you arrive and feel comfortable. So maybe walking the sit bones back so we find that nice gentle tilt over the hips. And we'll start by finding a little roll of the shoulders. So taking the shoulders forward, up and back, squeezing them up to the ears, and then just allowing them to drop down the back body. So just finding a little bit of movement to help us arrive in the space. So taking them forward, up and back, a little roll, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Maybe closing the eyes or softening the gaze. And then either allowing the hands to come and rest in the lap or on the knees, or perhaps bringing the left hand to the chest and the right hand to the tummy, just as we start to check in with the breath. And we'll start here by taking some nice inhales through the nose and some lovely big audible sighs out through the mouth. So taking a lovely deep inhale, filling the tummy with air, and sighing out. And again, lovely big deep inhale. And a sigh out, softening the shoulders as we do. One more like this, taking a lovely big deep breath in, filling the tummy with air, pausing at the top, and a lovely audible sigh out through the mouth. You're welcome to keep the hands here, perhaps relaxing them on the knees or lap, and bringing the eyes to close as we start to breathe in and out through the nose. So seeing if we can just connect with the breath for a moment, dropping down out of the thinking mind, down into the body. And we'll start perhaps by finding a nice rhythmic breath, in and out through the nose, and finding a rooting down of the tailbone of the sit bones, those two pointy bones in the buttocks. So each time we breathe in, we find this lengthening up from the tailbone, up the length of the spine through to the crown of the head. And each time we exhale, just allowing the shoulders to soften, the muscles of the face to relax, the legs to feel heavy. And just coming to recognise how you're feeling today, emotionally, physically. And just allowing ourselves to put any plans for the day to one side. Just giving yourself permission to be here, exactly as you are. Trying to deepen the breath now if we can, really allowing that breath to travel down, feeling the rise of the chest, filling out of the rib cage of the tummy, and exhaling every last drop of air with each out breath. Just noticing where we might be holding or tensing, seeing if we can let go. Perhaps finding an audible oceanic breath by constricting the back of the throat slightly, so we find maybe an audible sound on the out breath. And just noticing if any thoughts start to arise, and just acknowledging that that's the wandering nature of the mind. Gently coming back to the breath when you're ready, if the mind does start to wander. Still finding that upward current of energy, that gentle lift through the front body, through the spine. And that grounding down of the shoulders and of the sit bones. And we'll try, if we can, to keep this lovely connection to the breath as we move through the postures, pairing the movements with the breath and using the breath as a tool to help us find space and length. Perhaps finding a pause now between the inhale and the exhale. Just retaining the breath for a moment. Noticing where we can feel the breath in the body. Perhaps in the fingers and toes, perhaps in the lower back. And then keeping that connection with the breath, if we can, we just find a little bit of neck hygiene. So I just invite you to be creative and play and listen to your body and see what it might need today. But it may be that as we inhale, we can lift the chin, gently feeling that stretch through the front of the throat. And as we exhale, lowering the chin to the chest, just gently opening through the back of the neck. Just being mindful and soft. This movement might be very subtle. Inhaling to lift and extend, and exhaling to soften. Doing this as many times as you wish before coming back to centre. And you might wish then to inhale and draw a lovely big arc up and overhead with the nose. And as we exhale, completing that circle down and under. Again, trying not to rush the movement or speed up. Pairing the movement with the breath and really feeling into those sensations. Pausing anywhere that may need a little bit of extra TLC, perhaps in the sides of the neck. Listening, checking in with what you might need today. Reversing that circle when you're ready. Still taking that lovely inhale up and over, and that full, complete exhale as we sweep down and under. Lovely. Coming back to centre when you're ready. Bringing the hands to the knees wherever they are. The legs might be extended, that's absolutely fine. But just finding a place to rest the hands really, as we find some movement through the hips. So as we inhale now, keeping the spine long if we can, we sweep the chest forward over the legs, using the elbows and the hands to guide us. And as we exhale, rounding, tucking the chin, rounding the spine, tucking the tailbone, and completing that circle round. And again, I always say to close the eyes and really feel into this. How does it feel through the hips, through the mid-back? Can we find space in the chest as we come forwards? And trying not to speed up. If anything, we're trying to keep this movement as slow as we possibly can to really feel into all those spaces. And then reversing that circle when you're ready. Still using that inhale to create that length through the crown of the head. And the exhale to round. Little massage for the sit bones as well. Lovely. And when that feels even on both sides, calming back to centre. And now taking the hands up past the ears, finding a nice big stretch up and overhead. Taking the thumbs to reach back, the little fingers reach forward and really take up space. Feel that opening through the chest. Maybe a lift of the chin. Take a nice deep breath in here. And as we exhale, soften the shoulders down. Just allow them to drop down. Taking a few breaths. A nice big morning stretch. And on the next inhale, reaching and lengthening, pressing through the sit bones as we reach up through the waist. And as we exhale, drawing the elbows back, the shoulders squeeze together, finding cactus arms. Inhale to reach and extend, drawing the navel back towards the spine, the belly button to spine. And exhale to open. Inhale once again. Really big, deep breaths. And an exhale. This time as we inhale and extend, as we exhale, coming to the right hand side, bringing the left hand to the right knee, the right hand swimming behind, just gently pressing the fingertips into the mat, into the floor. And as we inhale, reaching up and out of the spine, and as we exhale, melting gently round, maybe taking the gaze past the right shoulder, softening the muscles of the face, relaxing the shoulders down. Each time we inhale, we're lifting and lengthening, and each time we exhale, perhaps finding a little bit more space to melt round into that twist. Breathing deep here, really feeling the breath expanding through the rib cage, through the side bodies, and travelling deep down into the tummy. Still pressing evenly down through the sit bones. And then gently coming back to centre. Inhale to reach up and find that length once again. And exhale, coming to the left side. Watching out for any tomato plants. Pressing that right hand gently to the left knee. Bringing that left hand behind us. And without forcing or crunching, we're just gently guiding round into the twist. So try not to lean forward or back, keeping that lovely length through the spine. With each inhale, we extend, reaching the crown. And with each exhale, we soften and fold round. Feeling that natural rise and fall again of the breath, travelling down through the chest, soft through the shoulders. And then coming back to centre when you're ready. Feel free to keep the cushion under you or pop it to one side if you have one. As we come into a little bit of a side flow. So pressing the right hand down into the mat as we inhale, lifting the left arm up. And as we exhale, just finding some flexibility through that elbow as we reach to the right side. Really lifting up and out of the hip, finding that length through to the fingertips. Inhale to reach and exhale to release. Inhale to the other side. Really reaching the fingertips high, up and out of the hips and the waist. And exhale, feeling that lovely stretch through the side body. Inhale to reach and exhale to release. This time finding a little bit of a variation and a flow. So inhale to reach up. And as we exhale and fold, gently sweeping the fingertips out in front if that feels comfortable. And inhale to spiral the heart and chest open to the ceiling or to the sky. Exhale to fold. And inhale to open. Again, closing the eyes, feeling into this. Finding your own breathing rhythm, rooting down through both sit bones evenly. Inhale to open. Exhale to fold, finding some space through the lower back. Just one more on each side, just making sure that we're even. Lovely. Before coming back to centre. A little roll of the shoulders if we need, and then we're coming over onto all fours. So just being gentle how we get there. Being mindful of the knees. And we're pressing the palms of the hands down into the mat and spreading the fingertips nice and wide. So really rooting down, almost clawing into the tops of the fingers. Pressing that index finger and thumb down evenly. Bringing the lower legs and the tops of the feet, take my socks off, pressing the tops of the feet down into the mat and feeling nice and strong, so finding our foundation there. And we'll do a little bit of opening through the hips, so keeping a little bend in the elbows, moving the hips over to the left hand side and turning to gaze down at the right foot. Inhale to centre, exhale to the other side, so just finding a little bit of a shimmy on the hips just to help them open. Side to side, drawing the belly button to the spine, finding that nice strong back. Lovely, and then coming back to centre. We can tuck the toes here for a little bit of stretch through the soles of the feet, bringing the weight back to the heels to feel that stretch. It can be quite a strong stretch. See how it feels for you. It can be nice to wake them up first thing and also last thing in the day. Lovely. Then come back to centre as we move through our cat-cow pose. So as we inhale, keeping that rooting down through the fingertips, through the palms, a little bit of a bend in the elbows, dropping the belly, tilting the hips high, lifting the chin. If there's any pain in the lower back, then I recommend just keeping that spine nice and long, drawing the navel in to protect the spine. As we exhale, rounding, tucking the chin, tucking the tailbone, pressing the palms, rooting them down into the mat, reaching the shoulder blades high. Inhale, dropping the belly or flat back, lifting the chin. And exhale, rounding through the spine, tucking the chin. Again, finding your own rhythm, your own flow. Try not to speed up through this movement. Try and keep it lovely and soft and gentle and paired with the breath. You may wish to find some freedom here. Perhaps on the exhale, you might wish to take the bottom back to the heels to extend that stretch, really feeling it deep down in the lower back. I find it really lovely to just gently move side to side on the hips, bringing the bottom back to the heels, maybe coming through as we inhale on the forearms, pressing up. Finding any movement here within this posture that feels good for you. Lots of space in the shoulders. Lovely. And then coming back to centre when you're ready. Now just finding a little bit of an opening through the shoulders, and be mindful to how much space we have available to us. So pressing down through the left hand as we inhale, reaching the right arm either to shoulder height or peeling that fingertips up towards the sky, opening through the shoulder. And exhale to come back down. Inhale to the other side, finding that opening. Just being mindful it might feel very different from one side to the other. Just listening to that. Inhale to the other side, this time reaching and extending, and as we exhale, threading the needle, reaching the fingertips through and under the left arm, keeping the hips nice and high, coming back. Inhale on the left side, reaching up, and exhale, reaching the fingertips through, finding a bit of strength in the arms. Lovely. Coming into our puppy pose, so bringing our elbows down to where the hands were, coming onto the forearms, walking the knees back a little bit, keeping them hip distance, the arms and legs parallel, the hips over the knees, and as we, on an exhale, gently melting the heart, the chest, back to the mat, coming to rest the forehead or the chin, taking the arms nice and wide so we've lots of space in the shoulders, and allowing the hips to really open up nice and high. Just pausing here, finding a few rounds of breath. With each exhale, we're just allowing the chest, the heart to melt down into the mat. Pressing into the palms if you wish to keep the arms active and to really reach those hips high, or relaxing down onto the forearms if that's more comfortable, pressing into the tops of the feet. And then lifting the head, coming through centre, shifting the weight onto the forearms and just coming down to the belly. So just allowing the front body to rest fully on the mat, the tops of the feet pressing down. And we'll bring the arms nice and wide, coming to our spider fingers. So just pressing the fingertips gently down into the floor, resting the forehead on the mat, the elbows coming up a little bit, maybe to shoulder height. And as we root down and press down through the pelvis, we're also drawing the belly button up to the spine. So as we inhale, gently lifting the chin, the chest perhaps off the floor, and as we exhale, gently melting down. It might be a very small movement on that inhale, just being mindful of the lower back, slowly building strength, and exhale to lower. Inhale, reaching through the crown, drawing the shoulders back away from the ears, and exhale to lower. And again, inhale, pressing the pelvis down into the mat, drawing the belly button to the spine, and exhale to lower. One more like this, inhaling to reach, finding that length, exhaling to lower. We can pause here for a rest, otherwise we'll move into Sphinx pose. So bringing the elbows underneath, directly under the shoulders, pressing the palms of the hand into the floor, pressing the pelvic bones down, the hip bones down, and drawing, really squeezing that belly button in towards the spine, so using that core strength to protect the lower back. Pausing here for a few breaths. If this feels too much at all for the lower back, then finding that flow again, resting whenever we need, and slowly working on building strength in that lower back area. Lifting through, opening through the chest and chin if you can, allowing the shoulders to slow down. And then exhale to slowly release, bringing the hands under the shoulders, tucking the toes under, and we'll either come back to all fours to the knees in our tabletop position, or coming through to plank, finding a nice strong pose here, and then moving up into our downward dog. So as we exhale, shifting that weight back into the heels, taking the hands and feet nice and wide, lots of space. The heels don't need to touch. Instead, we're looking for a nice long spine. So bending the knees generously, nodding the head yes and no, just to relax the neck, and pedaling through the legs. So finding a nice shimmy again on the hips here, as much movement as we need that feels good. Finding the breath, trying not to hold the breath, but using it to help us find that space. And if we need to come down to the knees to rest at any time, please do. Open through the shoulders, pressing into the palms of the hands, the fingertips. We're reaching the heels for the back of the mat, but they don't need to touch. We're aiming for that lovely long golden line from the tailbone to the crown. So drawing the weight back to the lower body, opening through the shoulders. Either finding stillness, maybe three-legged dog, if that's in your practice, or continuing to pedal through the legs, trying to find ease, finding the breath. And then gently lowering the knees down to the mat and releasing the tops of the feet. Taking the knees nice and wide, the big toes to touch. Taking that weight back to the heels for our child pose. So the arms again reaching forward, we're melting the chest, the heart down to the mat. Coming to rest on the chin or the forehead. You're welcome also to stack the hands or use a block. Lots of space in the shoulders. And with each exhale, we're melting and we're pressing into the palms just to reach the tailbone for the heels. Breathing deep here. If this is uncomfortable for you at all, having the knees in this position, we'll come back to puppy pose, so parallel legs and melting the heart back, keeping the hips high instead. Whichever pose feels right for you. Just pausing here for a few breaths. Noticing any areas where we may be holding or tensing. See if we can release and soften. Maybe rocking on the forehead side to side, so a little massage for the forehead can feel nice. And then calming back up gently to all fours, so making our way. And I'll turn to face you here, but you're welcome to stay wherever that you can see the screen. So I'll turn to face you. We're taking our all fours position and bringing our right leg out to the side. So pressing down into the sole of the foot, into the outside edge of that right foot. Walking the hands round to our left side, planting that left hand down. So spreading the fingertips wide, really finding that root connection. A little bend in the elbow. And as if we have a bow and arrow, we'll trace the right fingertips along the left arm, up over opening the chest, reaching for the ceiling, and taking some lovely deep breaths here. A really nice opening posture, drawing that shoulder back, drawing the top hip back, opening through the chest, pressing evenly down through the palm and that left leg, and rooting down into the right sole. And if you wish, we can take the arm up and overhead for a little bit more. If that feels too much though, keep reaching for the ceiling through those fingertips. Keeping the shoulder away from the ear if we can, drawing back, finding as much of an opening as we can. Really breathing into this pose, lovely to do in the morning. And then exhale to release the hand down, calming, walking back to all fours. Finding any movement through the wrists if you need, so finding a little rotation can feel nice just to bring a bit of warmth there. And then coming to the other side, so pressing the left foot down, really reaching that outside edge, feeling rooted down there if we can. Walking the hands to the right side, rooting down through the right hand, really pressing into the earth, and as we inhale, tracing along the right arm, lifting the left fingertips up to the ceiling. Again, we might feel very different from one side to the other, so just honouring that, listening to your body, and just observing those sensations, drawing the top shoulder, the top hip back, spiralling the heart upwards, finding that length still from the tail to the crown, pressing down into that left foot, breathing deep, and either gazing up past the fingertips or down at the mat, just being mindful of the neck. Again, we're working to find ease, using the breath to create space and to explore that space. And then exhaling, gently release. And we'll come to find our seat, so bringing the legs to one side, sitting back, bringing feet out in front as we find our butterfly pose, so bringing the soles of the feet together, walking the sit bones back, and just allowing the knees to open to the side. So we're not forcing or pressing the knees down, we're just finding that natural space between the legs. Bringing the fingertips to interlace, if you wish, behind the toes, otherwise bringing the hands to the shins or ankle, anywhere down the length of the leg that allows us to reach up and out through the crown. So gently allowing the knees to feel heavy, reaching them down for the floor, at the same time rising up through the length of the spine. Taking some nice deep breaths. Feeling that gentle opening through the hips. This can be quite a deep posture, and we tend to store a lot of emotion, a lot of tension in the hips, so just be gentle, observing, noticing how it feels for you. Using the breath to help us find space. Releasing the hands wherever they are, walking them behind, pressing into the palms or fingertips, and reaching the chest, the chin upwards, squeezing the shoulder blades together, down away from the ears, really finding that opening through the chest. Feeling the breath through the rib cage, deep down into the tummy. Still rooting down through the sit bones, drawing the belly button to the spine. And on our next exhale, we'll just slowly start to walk the hands forward, and it may be that the palms come to frame the feet, maybe that we can walk them a little bit further forward, but for now we're aiming to keep that long spine. So rather than rounding and collapsing through the mid-back, we're finding that reach from the tailbone through to the crown. So each time we inhale, we're finding from the hips that long line forwards. Breathing here, a little bit of a deeper posture now into the hips. If you wish, feel free to come onto the forearms, but again, just be mindful that we're not bending through that mid-back at this point. After we've taken a few breaths here, feel free, if you wish, to just allow that rounding of the spine now. Just to fold the forehead, moving towards the feet. Feel free, again, to stack the hands resting the forehead or a block or a pile of books. Otherwise, just noticing any areas that we may be holding or tensing, seeing if we can soften. Coming back to connecting with the breath. Just observing any sensations that may arise for us, any emotions that perhaps have felt trapped in the hips at all. Each time we exhale, see if we can find a millimetre more space. And then slowly walking the hands back to centre, coming up, allowing the knees to move in together, and we'll come back to our comfortable seat. So either again with the legs out long or cross-legged, however feels comfortable for you, maybe bringing back the cushion. Closing the eyes once again, feeling the connection of the sit bones with the floor, with the mat. I'm really feeling that energy move up from the tailbone through to the crown of the head, allowing the shoulders to drape down the back body, softening the muscles of the face, softening the feet, the hands, coming back to that in and out breath, and just recognising how you feel after those movements, physically, emotionally. Seeing if we can really drop down into the body and out of the thinking mind just for a few moments longer. And then keeping the eyes closed, as we inhale, we'll reach the arms out wide, reaching through the fingertips and slowly drawing a big circle up and overhead, bringing the palms to touch. And as we exhale, drawing the hands down through centre. Inhale once again, reaching the arms wide, perhaps a little lift of the chin. And as we exhale, drawing the hands down. Once more like this, inhaling to reach, scooping up all that lovely energy, and exhale, drawing it down to the body. Pressing the hands together, just gently drawing the thumbs to the chest as we lower the chin, feeling a stretch through the back of the neck, really breathing deep into the back of the neck here, softening the shoulders, keeping that lift through the spine. And then blinking the eyelids to open if they were closed, lifting the chin. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me and for sharing your practice. And have a lovely day. Take care.